Hello YouTube, today I'll show you Swordsoul deck profile. So with the reprint on the Megatins, this deck got accessible to a lot of players, new players. So yeah, I'll showcase you what I think is the best version to play right now when tier is dominating the whole format. And in my opinion, no other deck is even close to that deck. So yeah, start with the monsters. Of course, for Soul Souls we have 3 Mo Ye. So this is your starter. When it's normal summoned, you get to reveal a worm or a Swordsoul card and special summon a token, and then when it's used for synchro material you get to draw one. So it replaces itself in the hand and also gets you access to your level 8. Of course, you want to max out on the Longyuan. So Longyuan is your extender. You get to discard a Swordsoul card or a worm and special summon him and a token, and when it's used for synchro material you get to burn your opponent for 1200, which makes this deck great while going in time. So yeah, 3 and 2 Taia. So Taia by itself doesn't do much, so that's why it's 2 Taia. You get to banish a Swordsoul card or a Worm Monster from your graveyard and special summon a token, and when it's used for synchro material you get to dump a Worm or a Swordsoul card from your deck to the graveyard. Next, for honorary Swordsoul card, 2 Ecclesia. 2, of course, going second is pretty good because you get to special summon her from the hand when your opponent controls more monster than you do, and you get to tribute it and special summon a Swordsoul or a Fallen of Albaz. But yeah, this is a Swordsoul deck. Next, the card that searches the whole archetype is the 3 Emergence. So basically you get to search any Swordsoul monsters, and if you control the synchro you can search a Worm Monster, which was Protoss, but Protoss is banned in the TCG, so shout out to the Master Duel players. Next, 1 Summit. I still think you need to play 1 Summit. It comes up in late game. You get to special summon your Taias and go for Baxia, bounce to not so simplified game state, and bouncing 2 cards. It's pretty huge right now, even for Soul, even in tier elements, because you don't get to trigger their effect. So yeah, I'll suggest play 1 Summit and then 1 Blackout. Of course, search pops 2 cards. It's a combo with Chengying. So yeah, that's it for the Swordsoul part of the deck. Next we have the Tenyis, 3 Ashunas. They all have the same effect in hand, where you can special summon if you control no monster or you only control non-effect monsters. And Ashuna is the special summon from the deck, but it locks you into worms, so basically you cannot go for your Dragite or your Baronne. Next, 2 Vishuda and 2 Adhara. So Adhara is your follow-up, and Vishuda is the interruption on your opponent's field. You get to banish it when you control a non-effect monster from the hand or the graveyard, and target 1 card on the field, bounce it to the hand. And Adhara has the same trigger condition, so you must control a non-effect monster to banish it from the graveyard or the hand, to target one of your banished worm monsters and add that to your hand. So you can really play with your Qixing, the level 8 searcher effect. You can banish whatever you want, and if you have Adhara you can add it back to your hand. Next, you want to play Bystials because tier element is everywhere, even is good in branded. versus the branded matchup. So yeah, 2 Magnamhut, 2 Druiswurm, and 2 Saronir. So yeah, Magnamhut is really good in this deck because it searches you your Destrudo, which Destrudo gets you to your Yazi, and Yazi gets to your Swordsoul part of the deck. So yeah, they are all DD Crows for light and dark monsters, and they are bodies on the field, and pretty big, so 2500. And also as an engine, if you happen to draw the Magnamhut, you get to search your Destrudo and Destrudo Yazi, pop a card in your opponent's field, then Yazi effect, special summon Mo Ye or Taia, and so on and so on. Next, 2 Desires. This deck can also afford to play Desires. You don't really care what you banished, as long as you do your end board. 1 call by for the shifter, and for any rogue matchups that play hand traps. Next, 2 Veiler. So not a big fan of Veiler, but yeah, you got to go with monster negation on this format, because Veiler plays into tactics, and in the next format, when the new triple tactics card comes out, you don't want to hand trap your opponent because you will go so much minus. So they can go either a pointer or triple tactics, draw 2, or show them your hand. So yeah, this format, Veiler, I think is good, but next format I wouldn't recommend play any hand traps. Then for board breakers, 3 forbidden droplets, and 3 impermanence. As I said, monster negation is the name of the game right now, the B tier. So yeah, you imperm the Kitkalos, or in sprite matchup you imperm the gigantic, and also it's not a monster, so if they have triple tactics, they're pretty much dead in their hand. And this will run up the main deck, clean 40, extra deck, 2 monk, that's all you need. You don't need more than 2 monk. So just turn your Tenyis into a non-effect monster. 1 shaman. I don't usually get to summon her, but yeah, it's good to have discard 1 special summon from the graveyard. Next, dark, because we do play bestials. And also, if you steal your opponent Magnamhut, you get to search the Destrudo or a bestial during the end phase. And 1 link 3, which is just spot removal. If you steal with dark, then you go for unicorn and clear the board that way. So yeah, 1 unicorn. And also this deck is also good because it doesn't really play into the bestial of your opponent bestials, because your Swordsoul are different attributes than light and dark. Now for synchros, 1 Yazi. I'm thinking of bumping to 2 because Destrudo will shuffle itself back to the deck. So if you have another Magnamhut, you get to search her. But yeah, for now, 1 Yazi, 1 Chixiao. So Chixiao is your starter. It searches you a Swordsoul card, and also is an impermanence during your opponent's turn by banishing a worm or a Swordsoul card. 2 Baxia, board breaker, extender, does so much for the deck. So when you make it with the Tenyi, so with Ashuna and Adhara or Vishuda, you get to bounce 2. Also, you get to bounce 2 when you make it with Taia, but you get to bounce 1 if you make it with Mo Ye. So, yep, this is a board breaker, and you can pop a card and special summon level 4 monster from your graveyard and continue playing. Draco Berserker, so good this format because it really hurts Telements when they activate the effective fusion summon, because it banished them, so they cannot shuffle themselves back to the deck to fusion summon. 1 Dragite for the Flunder or Draco Slayer matchup. Of course, you gotta have some spell and trap card heat. And then for level 10, of course, 1 Baronne, 1 know, the new level 10, I don't know how to pronounce that, and Chengying to run up our extra deck. So Chengying has a cool little combo you can do with Chengying and Chixiao. So you end on the Blackout, Chixiao and Chengying to banish a card from your opponent field, engrave, and also pop 2 on the field with Blackout, and also have an Impermanence. So if you really don't have Baronne, you can just play Swordsoul that way, but Baronne gives the deck a whole lot better. And yeah, that's it for the deck profile, and see you on the next video.